Common Fire coming back once again to talk about Dobutsu Sentai Zyuohger. Today we're going to do something special and talk about 2 episodes of Zyuohger today. For those who care, the reason is I was unable to view these episodes for the final leg of my vacation. So I had to watch them when I got home. And I am home, I have seen both of them, and here are my thoughts. Okay, we're gonna jump straight into it and talk about episode 4. I can't remember the title, so forgive me. This episode, once again, at least for me, fell flat. It was not bad. We are not talking ninja levels here. It was just average. The plot centered around this death galleon who kidnapped people and forced them to fight each other for the blood game, which we still haven't had really explained. And just to jump ahead a bit, they don't explain it in episode 5 either. So yeah, we're still kind of left as to what our villain's ultimate purpose is, which leaves me kind of cold, as their designs and strategies are interesting to me, but yet we know nothing about them except that Master Genesis or Genus or however you say it is the leader, and apparently the continue coins come from him somehow, and they still haven't explained what the continue coins are or why the monsters and the generals have coin slots. It doesn't really make that much sense. So anyway, back to the real plot of episode 4. This monster kidnaps people, forces them to fight, and then apparently if someone loses, they get turned into like a barrel, like a flammable barrel thing, and then are tossed out into space. Well, actually, the guy who gets turned into a barrel does not get flung into space because the Zyuohger stopped the monster. And that never happens. Then, as the fight goes on, both Sella, the Blue Ranger, and Leo, the Yellow Ranger, get captured and are forced to fight to the death. There's a slight subplot about Sella and Leo fighting in some kind of tournament back in Zhuland, and apparently Leo pulled his punches and let her win, and she's never kind of forgiven him for that. And so when they're forced to fight to the death here, at first Leo pulls his punches, but she notices and says, "Fight me for real." I guess it's kind of an honor thing for her, and they fight for real. And then even when they do, Leo leaves himself open so she can finish him off and escape. So both times he kind of lets her win, which makes her annoyed. And she says at the end of the episode, "One day I'm going to fight you for real and I'm going to win, or we'll have a real competition." Leo wants to pull his punches because apparently he believes it's wrong to hit girls. And I agree with that, but during a martial arts tournament, like an official one that apparently had like a ranking system and stuff like that, I think I kind of have a hard time believing he'd let any girl win. The only thing I can think about this, the only real reason I can think about why this is maybe Leo has a crush on Sella. I am not exactly sure. So basically, that's the episode. The white, red, and green rangers try and find them. They find them by having the Green Ranger, who is an elephant, who has the enhanced sense of smell Leo's sock and kind of use him like a bloodhound. And then they fight in the mecha and destroy the monster. That's it. It wasn't necessarily bad, but neither the villains nor the heroes really carried it all that much. It wasn't a bad episode. I felt like there were hints of things that may come later on, but nothing particularly worth... Well, I can't even say skip it, because I think it is important and Probably will set something up down the line later, but for right now, it just seems kind of pointless, I guess. Okay, now we move on to episode 5. Now, this one I actually do have stuff to say about, because this was a really good episode. Okay, so we start with the group looking for the champion symbols, which is a good thing, at least from my perspective. That means the writers still remember that plot point from earlier. I know it's only been a few episodes since they started doing this by handing out flyers and continually looking, but with some Sentai seasons, they seem to forget their important plot points and push it aside for the plot of the day. So at least to see them still doing this is nice. And I don't really know how long the series has been going in terms of the time for the Rangers versus us. I'm just going to assume that every episode is a week later. For now, if I'm proven wrong, I will try and correct that in a future video. But anyway, they're handing out flyers, and at least some of the Rangers are handing out flyers and watching, but doing other things. The White Ranger is drinking a smoothie and stuff, so it seems to imply they don't really expect anything to happen, like when people see the flyers. I don't either, because that didn't really work well in episode 3, I believe it was. But as they're handing out flyers, Yamato sees a bunch of Mebas and a commander coming towards the city. So, as they... I'm tongue-tied today. As they see this, they immediately summon their little Zyuoh cubes and get into their mecha or Zords. And once they do, they easily take them down. The action commander abandoned his... Well, it is a commander. I can't remember the prefix of the commander. Maybe it is just a commander. But he abandoned his ship and gets stuck in the ground in the forest. So they go searching for him because they know he's not dead. And they come across another Zhu man called Larry, or Lyari. It's spelled L-I-R-R-I. So I'm just going to say Larry just for convenience sake. They come across Larry and they hang out with him. At first, the Zyuohgers are excited to see another fellow Zhu man, and he is at first frightened of them until they show him that their champion symbols allow them to change into human, or appear human. So he welcomes them into his little house. He has a little house in the woods happily and makes them tea and stuff. And he explains why he's there. He was originally a human researcher from Zhuland. He went to our world to study humans. After a while of studying, it's never made clear exactly how long, he tried to actually converse with humans and interact with them. However, they, ran away scared of him, which, of course, most people would when they saw a giant human-like gorilla speaking Spanish. Oh, did I mention at some points Larry speaks Spanish? Yeah, Larry speaks Spanish. Have no idea why. But not only do the humans run away in fear of him, at least one police officer actually pulls out a gun and shoots him, grazing him at least in the arm, if not other places. So ever since then, Larry has hated humans. And this is extremely important because only shortly after they arrive does he find out that Yamato, the Red Ranger, is human. So most of the episode consists of Yamato and the group trying to get Larry to accept Yamato. The one thing I really like about this episode is later, after Yamato gets hurt by Larry because Larry is mad that Yamato keeps trying to be friends with him, Yamato goes off and has a little think on his own. He talks to a little baby deer, and Larry sees this. Yamato says, "Hey, I'm a animal researcher. I love animals. I'm not gonna hurt you, and you used to research humans like I research animals. You know, I'm not afraid of you. You're a nice guy. Let's get along." And Larry actually agrees. Now, the Action Commander, I'm going to call Action Commander, at least for now. I'm not sure if that's correct. Comes down. His name is Ezold. He was one of the big generals. Yes, and I said was. They defeat him in this episode before we really know much about him. He puts up a really good fight. His body is made out of, I guess, crystal cubes. I guess that's what his design is supposed to be. And the Rangers try and fight him hand to hand. That doesn't work. They try using their, altered beast forms, like their Beasts Unleash, where they get the huge hands and feet and fins and stuff. That doesn't work. They do combined attacks. Nothing works. So this shows why this character was a general in this army, why he was higher than the monsters of the day. Yamato tries the hardest to fight, and he gets hurt. Larry had been watching the fight completely from behind a tree and was amazed that a human could have a Zyuman's power. Once he saw Yamato getting hurt, he went down to the lake. That's where Yamato ended up, and actually found Yamato dead, I believe. I believe that's what the implication was. He was not simply knocked out, he was actually killed. He grabbed the champion symbol in his hand and kind of prayed to it to let him help Yamato out. I think that was a really good moment to show that even if they had their differences, knowing that this person kind of died to protect the world kind of helped Larry see that he was a good guy. The champion symbol actually grants Yamato life back and gives him another form of Zyuohger. Yeah. Apparently, at least the Red Ranger is going to have multiple forms, which is really cool. He gets all big and muscled out, and he fights Ezold in a great fight. I love the choreography because these guys are supposed to be really tough and big and hard, hard to hit, as we saw with Ezold not even being scratched by, team special finishers. But Yamato, in this new gorilla form, takes him out easily in a great fight. And one cool thing I thought was that he actually changes his roll call when he is Zyuohger. I don't know how this is going to work, but it was really cool. At the end, Ezold is defeated, and for some reason, he doesn't get a continue. I don't know why one of the generals was so easily defeated, especially since we haven't established much about any of the characters, but he was defeated and not gonna continue, so he didn't grow big, so we didn't see a Megazord fight. The reason I think this happened was just because the episode was running long. And they make up with Larry, and that's where the episode ends. So I really liked this episode. I liked kind of the, racism, or don't judge a book by its cover message. I really liked Larry. I hope we see him again. I like that the champion symbols, their morphers, whatever you call them, can do special things. And even if I think that they may be rushing this series just a little bit, the excitement has finally come back for episode 5. So I guess that's going to end this long wrap-up. Sorry if I stuttered and all that, but once again, this is unscripted, and these are my honest thoughts after seeing the episodes. Thank you guys for watching. I will be back. Hopefully, next time I will be right on time, so you won't have another double long episode. And I can't wait to talk about more of these episodes with you guys. I'm really enjoying myself doing these retrospectives, and I hope you guys enjoy them as well. Goodbye.